Hello and welcome. My name is Joel Wilhelm. I'm the Director of Channel Sales for phoenixNAP. And today we have Michael Deemer with Veeam. Michael? And we have Bryan Sarpad with phoenixNAP, Sales Engineer. Bryan?
Hi guys, this is Bryan Sarpad, Sales Engineer at phoenixNAP.
And I'd like to try to reintroduce Michael Deemer with Veeam. Michael, are you still with us?
I am. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Deemer, Systems Engineer here with Veeam Software. And yeah, we're getting started here real shortly.
Awesome. So what we're going to be talking about today is a smarter cloud backup and recovery solution with the new Veeam 10 and how that applies to phoenixNAP Cloud Connect services. We're powered by Veeam, so I think it's good to highlight a few new capabilities that it brings to the table for cloud and Cloud Connect services. Let's get started. So if you're not familiar with phoenixNAP, phoenixNAP basically runs infrastructure as a service globally. We were founded in 2009 with over 500 employees worldwide. And it looks like there's some timings in this slideshow. Hold on one moment. All right. We have 15 data center locations. 6 of those are locations that we run cloud, bare metal, and infrastructure as a service solutions from, including co-location. 5 of those locations today can be targeted with Veeam Cloud Backup, object storage for O365 backup. I want to highlight those on the next slide. We have a track record of winning services. We've been working with Veeam since 2014 as a national platinum service provider in their cloud service provider ecosystem. We have regional channel managers across the United States that are regionally focused to partner with our Veeam resellers, VARs, MSPs, MSSPs, and of course DMRs. The locations that I think are important for everyone to get out of this are Phoenix, Arizona, Atlanta, Georgia, Ashburn, Virginia, Amsterdam, Netherlands, and Singapore. Those 5 nodes can be targeted with O365 backups, Veeam Cloud Connect backup, and Veeam replication. Overall, the solutions that we provide as an infrastructure as a service provider are co-location, everything from fractional cabinets all the way up through custom private suites. We provide the power, we provide bandwidth. They are tier 3 facilities, fully redundant, fully staffed. We have NOC, we have security services on-prem 24/7. We provide dedicated servers. We also call that bare metal and hardware as a service. These are anywhere from turnkey, ready to run infrastructure that can be powered on within hours of an order, all the way out to custom solutions and infrastructure as a service for specialty workloads. Our cloud services encompass many different flavors of virtual private cloud, from shared tenant to single tenant private clouds that are managed by us up to the virtualization layer, data security cloud for PCI compliant cloud hosting with security and cybersecurity built in. Our security services encompass add-on services, SOC, monitoring, alerting, and basically the types of services you would expect to see on network and compute and storage workloads. Our backup and disaster recovery programs, very comprehensive. Again, we are partnered with Veeam very tightly for O365 backup as a service. That's a fully managed service from us, targeting our own object storage or targeting a customer's on-prem storage. Veeam Cloud Backup and Veeam Cloud Replication for disaster recovery as a service. We do provide a small amount of managed services, primarily around infrastructure as a service. We do not manage desktops or printers, and we don't really extend our managed services out into a customer on-prem environment. This is within inside of our four walls. I'm going to turn this over to Michael Deemer with Veeam to go ahead and talk about the next slide. Basically, what is new with Veeam version 10, why that's important to the partners.
Perfect. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see if we can give me some keyboard and mouse controls here. Let's see.
Let me make you the presenter.
So looks like you might have to do it because it doesn't actually allow me to give.
All right, go ahead, Michael.
All right, perfect. So good morning and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael Deemer, systems engineer here with Veeam Software, and I'll be the one taking you through the V10 journey. Now just sit back, relax, enjoy the ride, sip on your coffee or your tea this morning, and we'll get this started. So the very first thing I really want to talk about is the cloud data management. So cloud data management, right? So the very first thing I really want to dig into, so cloud data management enables customers to achieve unparalleled data availability, mobility, visibility, automation, and governance across data centers, at the edge of the cloud or even in the cloud. As modern IT organizations look to innovate faster, customers today want more from their platforms. With cloud data management capabilities, they can surpass legacy approaches to data protection and providing next steps beyond that, right? So at the very top, you're going to see here, you're going to see Veeam. Going down to the right, you're going to see cloud mobility, monitoring and analytics, orchestration, governance and compliance, and backup and replication. But at the heart of it, what do you truly see? Your data, right? So your data. So this is really about you and how we can make that happen. So either way we go, we can go to public cloud or private cloud. And we'll go here to the next screen here. All right, so the next slide is going to be touching about Veeam Cloud Data Management Platform. So Veeam Cloud Data Management Platform is built on the #1 backup solution. It has been designed to accelerate business agility through automating core backup and recoverability with enabling intelligent data orchestration, governance, and security across your cloud. Now, this could be virtual, this could be physical environment. Really doesn't matter there. Now, with Veeam Cloud Data Management Platform provides the foundation necessary to simplify backup and recovery as it transforms the way IT organizations manage and leverage data. Delivering the key capabilities needed for today's data-driven environment. Now, at the very top, let's just kind of break this down. So we have cloud on the left, SaaS, so software as a service, virtual environments, and physical environments. Underneath that layer, we have monitoring and analytics. Underneath that, we have orchestration, and then we have the meat and potatoes, so backup and replication. You're also going to see that little box that has all the dotted lines on it, so that's going to be called Data Labs. So Data Labs, and you might also heard of Sure Backup. So Data Labs and Sure Backup are realistically in of the same thing. That's just how Veeam tests their backup. So making sure that we can restore back to that backup and actually testing it with heartbeat tests, team tests, application tests, because that's going to be the worst thing, right? You have to actually roll back to a certain restore point, and all of a sudden, hey, that restore point's no good. Well, now that's a double whammy. It's already took enough repo space on your repository, and now it's not good. So that's where Sure Backup and Data Labs is going to come in to test those backups. And last but not least, our universal storage API, which is huge. This is how we move our data, right, to the object here. All right, going on to our next slide here, which I'm going to talk about the Veeam Availability Suite V10. So based on the new demands for modern backup and ongoing customer feedback, this release is packed with more than 150 new innovative features, major enhancements, including seriously powerful NAS backup to scale. Now, let's dig a little bit into it. So we can do data in, ransomware locked out with air-gapped immutable S3 object lock storage, which is huge. Object lock, completely object lock. Ransomware can't touch it, it's air-gapped. And then last but definitely not least, instant recovery for instant business agility, and much more. We're really going to dive deep into the Veeam Availability Suite V10 here today. Now, let's touch a little bit on Veeam replication. So Veeam replication, right? That's just going to be what we're talking about. And then let's go over some of the recovery challenges. So some of these recovery challenges are in almost every single company I can think of. So recovery speed, meeting short recovery time objectives. So those RPOs, those RTOs, traditional restores are traditionally slow, right? And then loss of productivity for massive data center outages. Doesn't happen very often, but when it does, you want to be able to make sure that smooth in transition is available for you. Now migration. Migration is huge. I don't know any company that hasn't ever migrated from either, maybe they went from an Active Directory server on-prem, and then they push it over and actually have that land in phoenixNAP, and they now have an Azure Active Directory server. So there's some type of migration being done with almost every company nowadays, where everybody's trying to stay on top of the game. Now, the next biggest thing is converting your physical environment to virtual. Most IT guys and admins and myself, we're trying to get rid of the physical box as much as we possibly can. We need it for hardware-driven stuff, but most of the time we're trying to get to that virtual. And then longer migrations have the opportunity to be interrupted. Let me read that again. Larger migrations have the opportunity to be interrupted. I don't know how many times that has personally affected me in performing my daily duties, when performing, maybe I need to reseed a backup or something like that. You have a 3 terabyte NAS and you need to reseed it. The faster, the smoother, and the more efficient that transaction is, the overall, everything is going to work, right? So the next biggest thing I want to talk about here is coming with Veeam Availability Suite V10, right? So Veeam provides an additional data recovery and portability options, enabling you to instant recover any Veeam backup into VMware vSphere, extending speed and extensibility, making downtime a distant memory. Without any learning curve or complicated pre-setup, you can recover any Veeam backup to VMware vSphere. Now let's kind of dive into what exactly do I mean. So I mean Microsoft Hyper-V, Cloud VM, physical servers, workstation backups are supported, providing with speed and flexibility required when recovering or migrating data. By using the most advanced instant VM recovery technology in the market, you can now instant recover of multiple VMs at once. So you have multiple VMs that you need to restore at one time, Veeam can handle that, making this the perfect solution for migration to bring in multi-server applications back on at once. All right, so we'll touch a little bit into data management here on the next slide. And realistically, what I really want to get into is data security and data reuse challenges, right? So let's touch a little bit on data security. So the only cure for ransomware is prevention. Let that sink in. The only cure for ransomware is prevention. You have to be forward thinking. If you're always living moment to moment, you're not going to be caught at the right time, right? So always be forward thinking about ransomware. Companies have to choose between either paying or losing their data. That's usually what happens when you get compromised. Now, what also comes with being compromised, right? Brand damage, controlling post-compromise. So making sure that you can mitigate as much as you possibly can to make sure your brand reputation isn't going to go, down the hill, right? And then data reuse. I don't know how many admins out there that could scream at the top of their lungs that know that these 3 next bullet points are huge. Providing fresh data for development and security testing, providing fresh data for data mining scripts and applications, and then dealing with increased requests for these operations. So we're getting these more and more. Everybody's needing more data. I mean, there's more data that's being churned and burned on a daily basis than ever before, if you ever think about it. All right, so the next slide here I want to talk about is coming with Veeam 10 Availability Suite, phoenixNAP, Cloudian, and the capabilities suite with V10. So in version 4, we introduced the capacity tier with move mode. So this policy allows chunks of data to be striped out of a VBK file. So a VBK file, for you that is not super familiar with Veeam, is basically our proprietary Veeam file, right? Now this is stored locally on a performance tier and then moved into the capacity tier, which is backed by the object storage repository. Now, at any one point, there is only one copy of the data either in the performance tier or the capacity tier. this makes the move policy perfect for offloading data from more expensive storage, such as like direct attached storage, NAS, or duplicated storage appliances, to cheaper storage. So S3 compatible or phoenixNAP with Cloudian and the immutability coming soon with it, right? So it does not, however, actually satisfy the 3-2-1 rule, whereby having one full copy of your data should be off-site. So let's kind of dig over this profile here, right? So on the left, we have direct attached storage, we have NAS, and we have the duplicating storage appliances. So we like to call these in Veeam, we like to call these extents. So extents are basically local on-prem spinning disk or just space that we can write to first. So think of that as the landing zone, right? So think of performance tier as actually where the data lands first. And then the capacity tier is actually where we offsite that data. So we're getting that offsite to the capacity tier, whether that be S3 compatible or actually going up to phoenixNAP with Cloudian object storage. So that's going to be the ultimate, like, think of that as more of a cold storage. So we got the landing zone, performance tier, and then capacity tier, you think of that as more of the cold storage. Now, the next biggest thing I really want to talk about is the object storage support. So that's here going to be on our next slide, and that's going to be with Veeam Backup for Microsoft Office version 4. So the newest release that we have for Office delivers cloud-optimized developed options specifically for cloud-first companies, where we can leverage cost-efficient object storage for your Office 365 data with S3 compatible providers. Now, what else can we leverage with that, right? So we can reduce costs with object storage, so we don't have to leverage your really expensive on-prem storage. Leveraging unlimited scalability and unlimited storage capacity. With going off to phoenixNAP, you have unlimited storage, you have unlimited capability. They have multiple data centers. They kind of showed you that at the very beginning. So you're not going to run out of space. You're going to run out of data before you run out of space here. And then the last but definitely not least, simplifying development in the cloud and no complex planning. So we don't need to have 20 meetings to say, hey, we need to go to the object here. We can make that happen in one swift move. Now, the biggest thing I want to talk about next is added security. So managed backups for O365 version 4, so our newest release, provides security with at-rest encryption for Office 365 in the object storage. For peace of mind, your data is secure and protected. And then we'll go on to additional V10 highlights, which realistically gets us right into better backup. So supercharged SAP and Oracle backups helps customers meet backup objectives for larger SAP and Oracle databases with improved throughput. So we're making sure that we're actually getting more data sets offsite and off to those SAP and those Oracle databases, right? More Linux love. So people that are more Linux house than Windows house. This is speaking to you, this is speaking to your heart, right? So we have V10 features more Linux than ever before. So now what we can do with it, Linux can now act as a Veeam backup and replication server backup proxy, allowing customers to achieve great scale and performance. Now, what that also means is now you don't necessarily have to have a Windows license be your proxy. So that's going to be a huge piece, especially if you're running like an Ubuntu or like a CentOS. Now you can actually take that and leverage it for yourself, right? And then native support for MySQL and then PostgreSQL, ensuring that customers can purchase Veeam backup and replications for today's popular Linux databases. Many more features, including VIX support for Linux and fast cloning for Linux servers. And definitely not the last, but definitely not least, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Now the new copy mode with Sober, right? So a Sober, you may think, oh, well, what's that? So that's actually what's called a scale out backup repository. So that was actually a couple slides back, and that's actually how we get it to the object here. Now, backups are automatically copied offsite immediately after a backup completes, furthering enabling the 3-2-1 rule against data loss between restores and then the production, right? And then next slide here, we're actually going to go over fast recovery. So fast recovery, and actually really what I want to touch on is the Veeam Universal License. So that's going to be here on our next slide. So Veeam Universal License is a portable subscription license, and it's truly a license that is a solution that is fully featured, right? So Veeam helps customers meet the demands of their ever-changing environment through the Veeam Universal License. This portable subscription license simplifies license into a fully featured universal license that includes Enterprise Plus feature sets, which is more than enough to get your average job done. With universal licenses, customers can protect any workload, whether that be virtual, physical, cloud instances, enterprise application, or even file shares. Customers will be able to purchase Veeam Universal License in bundles of 10 or more licenses than they use to protect and what they need. Now, when their needs change and when the workload is no longer needed, the license can be repurposed because, again, it's a universal license. So it's portable, it's mobile, it can be moved from workload to workload. And then this is really good for quick and easy changing of different workloads inside the environment. So no matter the environment, it can morph from one premise to the cloud, from VMware to Nutanix, from physical to virtual to cloud. This licensing solution pivots to meet their needs. No hidden fees, no cloud tax, none of that. The Veeam Universal License is the simplest, most flexible, and the most capable license option available to customers. All right, and the last but definitely not least here is smarter data. So let's just kick it off. So focusing on smarter data. So Veeam Availability Suite V10 has new and enhanced items for both Veeam Backup and Replication and Veeam One. So in Veeam One, so let's touch a little bit on that. So monitoring and reporting for Nutanix AHV backups. Veeam One expands its support and overall visibility for an entire IT environment by delivering data protection, monitoring, reporting, and alerts for Nutanix AHV to help users make informed decisions around protection of the Nutanix workload. Now, what does this include? So we can include monitoring and alerting for Nutanix backup jobs like statistics, as well as a list of backup VMs. Also on that list, we have new alarms based on the connected state of the Veeam One proxy for Nutanix to ensure availability of uptime. Now, let's touch a little bit on NAS here. So I don't want to go too much in depth, but we'll keep a pretty high view here. So NAS backup and monitoring and reporting, right? So with Veeam One expands its overall visibility and adding support to NAS-specific backup, including monitoring, reporting, and alerting functionalities to help users make informed decisions around their storage usage and capacity planning, right? So making sure that we know what's going on. Planning real-time visibility with new NAS backup monitoring for file backup proxies to track protected files, sources, data amounts, performance, as well as able to track the number of file shares or repositories in real time to make sure that these jobs are actually being basically processed in hierarchical order, right? So making sure that we have the job statistics. Now, what I do want to do here is I'm going to actually pass it over to our Platinum VCSP partner and co-host, Bryan. He's an amazing support engineer over at phoenixNAP. Thank you, Bryan.
Hi guys, I wanted to talk a little bit today about our phoenixNAP client portal. Joel, can you, there we go. So we've developed an in-house client portal that allows you to manage all our services from a single pane of glass. You can do everything from open support tickets, check your current billing, check your service usage, like your bandwidth usage, can manage bare metal servers. Joel, let's go ahead and go to the next slide. All right, so this is just a quick snippet of the functionality that you get from this client portal. So there's quite a bit here. We have public cloud servers, some network management. You can manage your DNS, object storage as well. Joel, go ahead to the next slide, please. And so right here, this is where you would actually manage your Veeam infrastructure. So you can create additional backup repositories at various locations around the globe. You can check your usage. You can also create these repositories for your actual clients that you're reselling to as well. We can schedule a demo of this if you'd like further details on all the capabilities it provides. Joel, please, let's go to the next slide. And there are some of the locations you can choose from, and just a quick graphical overview of your usage. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Joel.
All right, thank you, Bryan. Thank you, Michael. Very energetic, and really appreciate the overview of what's new in Veeam version 10. And again, most of that applies to the end user, the customer who is acquiring Veeam Backup for their infrastructure. It's getting a lot more flexible, as you can see, a lot more powerful, a lot smarter, provides you with basically more tools to manage up the stack. Ideally suited for enterprises now, all the way down to the smallest businesses. Very flexible from a licensing perspective. And of course, you'll notice that most of the backup jobs or replication jobs end up somewhere in the cloud. And really, that's ideal for customers that don't want to build and manage another data center and do it more cost effectively, more operationally efficient for the end user. What this boils down to is, if you're applying the 3-2-1 approach, if you're worried about security and cybersecurity threats, you really have to put into your plan and submit to the board or talk to your end users if you're a partner about the cost involved, because the 3-2-1 rule essentially assumes that in order to be fully protected, you've got to get that data offsite into a third party, into a cloud. That cloud has to be secure. We've designed our cloud to be fully interoperable and integrated with the Veeam Cloud Connect services. When it comes to object storage and the storage tiers, our object storage is S3 compatible. We are launching the immutability functionality, which is built into our Cloudian object storage service. So we'll be able to kick that on anytime those selections are made. But it does boil down to a price point. Customers can only afford so much, and some customers can afford a lot less than others. If customers have SLAs, if they have SLAs with their clients, if they have downtime costs out to their clients, we'd highly recommend you take a good look at replication for the mission critical workloads. We can do hybrid environments to help keep the costs low, but we've done our part. We've brought to the market some of the most aggressive price points on these 3 services that we've highlighted today for our partners to take to the market, make revenue, and help their customers get to where they need to be protected and secure. Office 365 Managed Backup as a Service, for example, includes online exchange. Online exchange is unlimited. There are some assumptions there that the mailbox sizes are limited to somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 megs, or gigs, I should say, per user. We do protect SharePoint data, OneDrive data, and Teams. The caveat there, if you want to protect the SharePoint for the entire organization, you also have to include all email users. So we can work through that if they want to limit access to SharePoint by certain types of mailbox users. At the end of the day, it comes out to pricing at about $3 per seat retail. And on larger deployments, and we're thinking for larger deployments, you're talking 5,000, 10,000 seats, we can get that price point down as low as $1.75 per seat per month. And that includes an awful lot of storage when you aggregate that many seats out. So we are very flexible. We don't want to lose a deal. We're very competitive. Office 365 is a managed backup service. So when you refer that business to us, our team helps to extend the O365 backup solution into the customer's online O365 environment. We can target our own infrastructure and storage, or we can target the customer's on-prem storage, or the managed service provider storage for that matter. So we're very flexible there. The licensing is included, the storage cost is included. I think that's important to highlight. With Veeam Cloud Connect Backup, I'm getting a little feedback here. With Veeam Cloud Connect Backup, $30 per terabyte per month for a very small allocation for a 12-month commit.
Muted.
Way down to $11 per terabyte per month for a 5-year commit on a tier of 51 terabytes or more. We can get this price down to be less than most object storage solutions out there in the cloud with a fully integrated Cloud Connect Backup. So if the customer has high volume, if the customer's fine with a longer term commitment, we can really drive the price of storage for Veeam Cloud Connect Backup down. The target side Veeam licensing is included in that. They still need their on-prem licensing, whether that be universal licensing, NAS licensing. Veeam backup availability suite licensing. That has to be covered already. But on our side, everything's included, the bandwidth, the storage, and the Veeam licensing. This can all be controlled through our PNCP control portal for resellers. We have many MSPs that rebill these services on their paper, and they make the margin. So we will give you a reseller price, and we will allow you full control to look at consumption, 24/7 access to the PNCP portal, so you can assign more storage for workloads that need more backup space. Maybe they're failing because they ran out of space. You can easily allocate more, move it around, buy burst storage on the spot and assign it to that customer, all at no additional charge for resellers. So your Cloud Connect backup solution should be, you should be considering phoenixNAP, whether you're going to refer business or resell into your customer base. For Cloud Connect replication, this is industry-leading price point. For a VMware customer that wants to replicate workloads for disaster recovery, $15 per VM. That includes the CPU and RAM. For a standby, basically a powered off virtual machine that's ready to run in our production environment, and $90 per terabyte of storage. We allow for 2 tests per year, 7 days in duration, up to 7 days in a DR event at no additional charge. If the customer needs to remain live in that environment for longer than 7 days, there are additional cloud burst storage that are billed per week until the customer can fail back. If they do not have the ability to fail back and want to continue to run their workloads in our cloud, we have options for that where we can put them on an annual agreement and keep their costs low for hosting with phoenixNAP. And of course, this tool can be used for migrations. As Michael had pointed out, all of these tools are great for migrating workloads and having mobility, having the data protection and the security that you need. Before I go any further, I want to see if there were any questions for Michael or for Bryan regarding the subject, the content that we just covered. There was a lot of ground covered there. Feel free to put it into the chat, or if you want to raise your hand, we can go ahead and answer some questions right now. I have a question from Brian Dean. Brian, thanks for the question. It looks like, are these prices customer price or partner price? The prices listed, the large price listed there and the tiered price listed there is our list price. So this is customer facing if you want it to be. They're also the partner price for resell, or I'm sorry, for referral. That is the price your customer will see. If you're a reseller, we do offer a discounted price that leaves a little bit of margin. Keep in mind, these prices are already very, very low, so you may not be able to make 30%, but we will work with resellers, especially if you're a large volume, on significant discounts, so that way you can rebuild the services and put them on your paper and make more margin. Brian, I hope that answers your question. Do we have any other questions? So before we close this out, I'm going to cover how we partner. Looks like we have one more. Do we offer ITAR compliant storage for Veeam backups? So ITAR's not on the table today. We do have cloud engineers and support staff that are based overseas. We do offer ITAR compliant solutions when it comes to co-location because we do not have overseas personnel with access into those environments. But when it comes to our cloud, unfortunately, we have not been able to be ITAR compliant. Brian, is that correct? I just want to be sure.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. When it comes to security and compliance, we have a lot of information available, and under MNDA, we're more than happy to provide to our active partners and end users our reports of compliance, our SOC, our PCI DSS compliance, HIPAA-ready statements, which basically describe the joint management for HIPAA compliance of cloud services, backup, and things along those lines. We do sign BAAs for healthcare. Obviously, our legal team will review any BAA and ensure that it's a good fit for us. We're not going to assume all responsibility as a covered entity. Any other questions before we move on? We have a quick poll. We would like to ask some questions of you. I think it's going to be very meaningful for us and for you. We'd like to find out where you're at today when it comes to selling Veeam. And do you have customers that are using it, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to go ahead and launch the poll real quick, and then we'll wrap up. Okay, and looks like the poll is going out. The first question, do you partner with phoenixNAP today? So it looks like we're getting some pretty high response rates there. We've got 80 and going up % yes, so that's good, great news. For those who are on the no side of this, we'd love to have a conversation with you, and I'm going to show you how you can do that next. All right. Let's go ahead and ask a quick question around, do you see a lot of backup as a service opportunities? So the poll is coming your way. So for backup as a service, that's where you're either managing it or you would like somebody else to manage backup as a service, as a managed solution for your customers. So far, 100% yes. That's great. Give it one more. Okay, we're going to close that poll out. Thank you for your responses. Next question, do you see a lot of disaster recovery as a service? Are customers coming to you and asking for replication of workloads? Some customers may consider disaster recovery having a backup in the cloud, and I can appreciate that. For us, that's an offsite backup. It may get them out of a disaster, but it doesn't provide an SLA on being up and live in a certain amount of time. Our SLA, our standard SLA is 4 hours, although we can beat that. Well, we believe we can beat that 100% of the time. Most smaller workloads can be up in as little as 15 to 20 minutes and ready to go. Okay, thank you for answering that question. Next question up. Do you see a lot of Office 365 backup opportunities? The better question might even be, do you help customers get into O365, and are you having a conversation with them around how Microsoft protects their data versus maybe what a better job Veeam Office 365 backup could do for them? The reason we ask this question is many customers think they're completely covered by the Microsoft backup and archival functionalities, but they'll find it falls short if they delete data, if somebody maliciously deletes data, and 30 days later it's no longer there. So our question to you is, do you see a lot of O365 backup opportunities? And the question might be, are you having that conversation with your customers? Okay, it looks like we're still getting a lot of responses here. I'll give it one more second. All right, thank you for the reply. And we only have 2 more questions for you. Do you have a lot of infrastructure refresh opportunities? Reason we're asking, are you willing to, or are you asking the customer, you know, hey, you're looking at a refresh, it's very costly CapEx, a lot of time migrating services over. Are you also considering cloud services? Would you consider hosting this? Would you like to see a bill of materials from us, plus an alternative for a VMware platform, private cloud, that might suit your needs better, deliver a little bit more flexibility at scale? So we realize infrastructure refreshes come up quite often, usually every 3, 4, or 5 years for most customers. And we're interested to see how often you're entertaining that. So it looks like the majority of you are. 83%. All right, thank you. The next question is really for Bryan Sarpad and his team and our channel team. Are you interested in a full demo of PNCP Portal? That is our reseller portal for cloud backup, gives you full control as a managed service provider. Typically, this is ideal for anybody who provides professional services or ongoing monthly subscription-based services to their end users, giving them full control of offsite Veeam backups. So it looks like we're about 33% yes. Okay, and we anticipated somewhere in that same range. So for those of you who said yes, we will follow up and offer a time to meet with Bryan virtually, so he can give you a much better demo of that solution, how that might integrate into what you're doing today, and also give you a glimpse of reseller pricing. So that way you guys can go to the market, understand how it works, have a better solution maybe than what you have today. All right, thank you very much for answering those questions. I know it takes a little bit of time, but it's valuable information. How can we help you, right? All right, I'm going to move on here and talk a little bit about our channel team, your target customers. So our program, our partner program, is designed to help you, of course, get in front of more customers, fill gaps, and deliver services that are meaningful for helping them achieve their outcomes. So, you know, if they're already using Veeam, it's natural that they're familiar with the interface already. They know how to run a wizard. They'll probably intuitively know how to set up the offsite cloud backups and replication. And if you're providing those services for your customers, you should already be very familiar with the tools that we provide and the integration, so that way the project doesn't stall, right? So if you're familiar with VMware and Veeam, you can already use phoenixNAP services. It's designed for clients that want to automate their backups. You know, we've seen customers literally walking out USB hard drives, doing tape outs, just doing things that you just wouldn't expect in this day and age. It is 2020, so it's not 1990 anymore. Automated cloud services that just work, give you the green check boxes, protect your data, have all of the security, the immutability, et cetera, built in, make a lot more sense than doing it the old-fashioned way. So we want to be here to help you as you fill those gaps and as you let customers know, hey, this isn't the best route. Let's fix this. Clients that need to scale. You know, phoenixNAP has got millions of dollars invested into infrastructure and storage and network. You just simply can't build that as an MSP, a smaller MSP or IT service provider, as easily as we have done already at the scale that we've built it. And obviously there's public cloud options out there as well. We think we're highly competitive against them. We think we're friendlier, and we think we offer a better experience overall. So please, you know, work with us on any time you've got these types of needs for your clients, and as a partner with us. And of course, these are tailor-made, integrated turnkey solutions. Very often, you can find cheaper solutions. Very often, there's a lot of workarounds to get them to work. They're not as automated or fully integrated like they are today with our Veeam solution. Veeam, you go into your admin console, you can do granular file restores, you can do all of the feature functionality that's in their knowledge base with Cloud Connect services, and it simply works. If you want to eliminate frustration, tailor-made integrated turnkey solutions are the way to go. And granted, they might cost a little bit more, but by the time you've invested learning and working around and patching and fixing solutions that just weren't designed that way, you'll actually be ahead of the game. We want to engage with you. Obviously, we offer everything from white glove pre and post sales support. Frankly, we've got opportunities that come in from agents that don't know the first thing about backup. We can take that solution from a lead to an opportunity to a closed won deal simply by gaining an introduction. If you're IT knowledgeable, if you understand Veeam solutions better, then odds are we'll get to a starting point with you where the customer's ready to buy, they just need a quote, and they're looking to move forward with you. We can co-brand marketing collateral. We can do sales enablement trainings with your teams. Those are all the things that are available to you as a channel partner. We have a comprehensive portal, has a lot of product material in it, data sheets, videos, and webinars that we host. These are designed to be informational and help you sell and go to the market. We offer deal registration. These are completely protected opportunities. We will not work with someone else if you bring it to us first and get us in front of the customer, build us, help us build the quote. and get that out the door. We are going to protect that opportunity, and we are going to protect that account. All growth, any add-on sales after the fact, any renewals, you'll continue to get compensated, whether that be in a reseller model or a referral model. And we have a channel management team that's designed to be dedicated to you. I'm going to skip this last slide here. West region, East region, Pacific Northwest Tola, and West region Dan Golden today. He is the interim. I'm backfilling some roles in the West region today as we speak. So this is the current team. This is their contact information. If anybody would like this slide deck after we get off this call, feel free to reach out and let us know. We're happy to provide it. So that way you have this information. We also have, of course, a data sheet for our channel sales team. If you're looking for contact information, how to work with us, we're more than happy to do that. And with that, I just want to thank everyone for their time, for hanging out. I know this call went a lot longer than we thought it would. There was a lot of content. Follow-up questions are welcomed. We appreciate your time. Thank you very much for attending. Have a great day.